This is David Hakan with KC Cafe Radio at the Walnut Valley Music Festival. I'm here with Helen Avakian and Dave Irwin. Helen is one of the winners this year's New Song Showcase. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
So Helen, tell us a little bit about your background in music growing up.
Well, I always loved to sing for as long as I can remember. I remember being in nursery school and singing at the top of my lungs, and that just kept continuing, joined choruses and things like that. And then I started piano when I was 7. I really wanted to learn how to play piano. I did that, and I honestly didn't practice very much. I didn't really get, you're supposed to practice. And I always wanted, again, it was like there was, anytime I could sing with the piano, and the songs I was learning was, the usual traditional things where you don't always have singing involved. And so I remember specifically, especially this one song, Crunchy Flakes. It was actually Jingle Bells, but it had, Crunchy Flakes, Crunchy Flakes. So I was like, I would play that and sing that, but it was a rare thing to have something like that in this. So when I was 9, I really wanted to play guitar because it was more portable, and something about it, I just thought it was really a cool instrument, but it wasn't like I was trying to be cool or anything, but I was just attracted to it. So I was really lucky. I ended up taking guitar lessons with this really wonderful teacher, Judith Kay. And in some ways, my life sort of has somewhat like hers. It's interesting, not exactly, but she had a big following of dedicated students for years, which I also am happy to say I've had, and also was, a writer, composer, songwriter, and performing. So I've been doing that as well. And so, yeah, that's really how I got started. And then in high school, I met people who were playing, and we played together. We had various little groups. Kept going through college, majored in classical guitar performance, which at first I was a little dubious about, but then I did it. And then I started songwriting at the end of college, actually. So, yeah, back then people weren't writing songs at age 13. So that would be really rare to meet a kid who was doing that. Nowadays, we meet children like that all the time. But at that time, we just didn't do that. It was more like, well, you have to be, I didn't understand that you have to maybe call in inspiration by sitting down, and maybe you don't have an idea of what you want to write, or you have a tiny idea, and not just you're going to sit down and there's a great song's going to come out, which is what I thought was how it happened when these amazing people would perform their songs. Yeah. The rare, younger kids, and just, of course, there were a lot of artists I admired that I wanted to be like. So.
And you've had some recognition on guitar.
Well, I was fortunate that in 2014 I won the International Fingerstyle Guitar Championship here at the Walnut Valley Festival, and that was really fun. Very exciting. Easy. No, I did practice. It took 9 tries. My 9th try was the lucky. Yeah, so, but it helped me grow. I mean, a lot of the reason I did that was once I saw how difficult it was, and how, it was as inspiration. So every time I would come here, I would play, I would just get so much better. When I'd go back home, I'd be a much better, stronger player. That just kept building up and building up and building up. I didn't even really seriously take winning. I didn't take winning seriously until the last 2 years, really, that I competed, especially the last year.
So tell us about the spark for this first song that you're going to play for us.
Well, I wanted to, for a long time, write an instrumental for Dave and me to play, and in a kind of open style that you'll hear. And so it was the beginning of 2018, and I just wanted to start the year off right, and came up with this, and Dave helped out a lot too. He's, made up a lead, and so that's where it came from.
Let's hear that song.
It's called New Year's Day.
love the counterpoint in that. It's wonderful arrangement.
Thank you.
So, I wanted to find out a little bit about your musical influences, maybe starting with Dave.
My father was a tenor sax player, and he loved Stan Getz, Stan Kenton, big band music. My grandmother was a stride piano player, and they were local professional musicians I grew up near Cincinnati, Ohio, in Middletown, Ohio. So I grew up with music around me, and one of the results of that is I had kind of embedded in my DNA the sound of jazz and also Brazilian music through the Girl from Ipanema sort of thing with Stan Getz. So I ended up, to jump ahead, one of my favorite gigs that I had is I was a house guitar player at a Brazilian restaurant for a long time, and that was awesome. But so I was around music all the time, and I always sang and played guitar. Well, no, I didn't always play guitar. I started off on piano and moved to saxophone, and I discovered guitar in about 9th grade. And I started a guitar club at the school I was at, and I joined it. Peter, Paul, and Mary, Paul Simon, James Taylor, all the guys my age, everybody listened to the folk people. By the time I got to college, I was trying to learn Joe Pass and George Benson, and was in a big band in college, and went on to be to play a lot of jazz over the years. But I've always loved folk music, and after my years of playing jazz, then playing in a 10-piece funk band for 15 years, and I've done everything, played in pit orchestras and well, everything you can imagine. But when I finally met Helen here after I got away from everything electric, even arch tops and stuff, I discovered actually what it was a book called The Winners of Winfield.
Wow.
And I mean, the first guy who won here was a guy named Robert Bolin, and I mean, it was like, and I heard this acoustic guitar, as a playing stuff like,
Right.
where you were, moving your fingers all over. It's just this big sound, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? So eventually I made my way to Winfield. My life's never been the same. So my biggest influence in my life is actually this festival and the people I've met here. And the list is long. I've gone and sought out most of the guitar champions that are on the list. Well, probably 75% of them got to play with them or study with them, and now my partner is one of them. So we met here,
Cool.
and so it's been an amazing thing. But I love acoustic guitar now, and I love what we're doing. We're really having fun.
Neat. Helen, what about you? What about musical influences? Who really inspired you?
Well, all of a sudden I felt the Beatles, Joni Mitchell, felt so, and head over here. At first I didn't actually like her voice. I'd hear about, she's so great, and then all of a sudden I listened to her words and I was like, she's talking to me, and her poetry is just amazing. And so then over the years, a lot of the female singer-songwriters, Sarah McLachlan, Natalie Merchant, Anita Franco, I loved the band Heart. I still love them. Such amazing singing. I love the acoustic and the electric, that they can do both things. Nancy Wilson's such a great guitar player. Their show is wonderful. Once in a while I go back and look at Heart and it's like, oh my God, they're amazing. Led Zeppelin, I have to say, which I know dates me. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with like Peter, Paul, and Mary as a little kid, and that was great stuff. So definitely always more attracted to acoustic. I got very into classical guitar, of course, because I was classical guitar, studying that in college, because that's really, at that time, that's really all you could, it was either classical or jazz, and I went the classical route. But Ralph Towner, I cannot do this without mentioning Ralph Towner. What a huge influence. I love Ralph Towner, and just hearing him in high school, seeing him live for the first time in this little jazz club, and it was a huge big thing for me, hearing his music. Oregon, his band Oregon, the song Icarus, especially, just that open acoustic sound. I just love that full sound. And yeah, and then nowadays there's just a lot of great singer-songwriters around. Well, Muriel Anderson actually was an influence. And one of the reasons I came here was I read about her and I heard her music, and I was starting to write my own pieces and and songs, but especially the fact that she was such a great player and classical tradition, and she was writing these beautiful pieces that were kind of combining classical and folk and what I would call new age music. Just very exciting to me. And so I read about her and through reading about her learned of the festival and the contest
Cool.
years ago, and then I just kind of didn't think about it, and then after a while I was like, maybe this is something I could do. A friend of mine came out here, so finally I came out here,
And now she's an 8-time song winner.
yeah, the songwriting contest got me here. I tried to sign up for the fingerstyle. That's how I heard about it. I didn't know about the song, and then I looked at the website and I found the new songs showcase. And so I had tried to get in the fingerstyle and I registered too late. It was like number 75. They only take like 40 people. They're like, you might be able to get in if you come. I'm like, go all the way from New York to here to maybe play. So the first year I tried it, I registered. I just said, nah, I'm not going to bother. The second time, I even registered for flat picking. It's funny. They're like, well, there's only a few people in flat picking. I'm like, okay. So I actually started trying to get ready for that. Then I saw the new song showcase and I entered that. And I won one category and was like runner-up in 2 categories. And so once I had that, but you only find out 2 weeks before the whole thing. I was like, okay, I'm going. My sister was like, get your ticket, you've got to go. And she came and met me here, and it was amazing. So if I hadn't done the new songs, I don't know when I would have made it here. And luckily I did get in fingerstyle also.
Great.
Yeah.
Would you do another song for us?
Yes.
We would love to.
Let me just quick check my tuning since I've added a
Clunk.
capo.
So this is the one and only song so far that I play live on the ukulele. I've done a little recording with it, but this is a co-write with a very talented songwriter, Mark Fonseca from LA. And I was very happy to be able to work on this project with him.
Did you ever meet face to face?
We have met face to face at a conference, but when this whole thing was being put together, we had not met face to face. In fact, we were introduced through a producer we both were working with at the time from Switzerland, Frederick Park, and he said, Mark could use some guitar on this track and maybe some other things. So I ended up putting on guitar and slide guitar and background vocals, and it was really fun, and I love the song, and Dave loved the song, and so.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, it's called Be There For You.
I didn't see one.
Oh, okay. Let's try it again.
Through thick and thin, I'll be by your side. I'll always be there for you. When you laugh, I'll laugh. When you cry, I'll cry. I'll always be there for you. Oh, 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 I'll always be there for you. Oh, 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 I'll always be there for you. If you need some time to be on your own, I'll be right here waiting for you. And if you lose your way, I'll lead you home. I'll always be there for you. Oh, 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 I'll always be there for you. Oh, 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 I'll always be there for you, be there for you, be there for you. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams till they come true. No, I believe in you. You may stumble, you may fall, but I'll see you through until you spread your wings and fly. Through thick and thin, I'll be by your side. I'll always be there for you. When you laugh, I'll laugh. When you cry, I'll cry. I'll always be there for you. Oh, 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 I'll always be there for you. Oh, 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 I'll always be there for you. Be there for you. Be there for you. I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there for you. Be there for you. I'm gonna be there for you.
much fun. Thank you so much, Helen and Dave, for coming in and sharing your music with us today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here in the Gypsy Wagon. Much
What a
success to
lovely-
you. We love being here. This is in the Walnut Valley grounds, and you're at Stage 11,
That's right.
which is all original music, which is really important for this festival. We think it's amazing what you guys do. So thanks for all you do.